Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Broadcast Space. Today, we will look into Kellyanne Conway's decision to leave Trump White House at the end of month. The White House advisor Kellyanne Conway has announced she will be leaving Donald Trump's administration at the end of August, citing the need to focus on her family. Conway, Trump's campaign manager during the 2016 presidential race, was the first woman to successfully steer a White House bid, then became a senior counselor to the U.S. president. She informed Trump of her decision in the Oval Office on Sunday. "I will be transitioning from the White House at the end of this month," she said in a statement posted on social media. "Our 4 children are teens and tweens starting a new academic year, in middle school and high school, remotely from home for at least a few months," she said. As millions of parents nationwide know, kids doing school from home requires a level of attention and vigilance that is as unusual as these times. "This is completely my choice and my voice. In time, I will announce future plans. For now, and for my beloved children, it will be less drama, more mama." Conway described her time in the administration and previously with the 2016 campaign as heady and humbling. She worked for years as a Republican pollster and operative and originally supported Senator Ted Cruz in the 2016 Republican primary. She moved over to the Trump campaign and that August became campaign manager as Steve Bannon became campaign chairman. Bannon was indicted last week for fraud. Conway would regularly defend the administration in media appearances and used the expression "alternative facts" to defend a contentious view of Trump's inauguration. More recently, she was instrumental in getting Trump to restart regular, though shorter, White House briefings about the coronavirus outbreak, a practice that officials have viewed as successful in helping to stop a drop in opinion polls the president has suffered largely because of his handling of the pandemic. Her husband, George Conway, has also announced he is stepping down from his role at the Lincoln Project, which is working to defeat Trump in November. George Conway has been a vocal critic of the U.S. president. In a public feud last year, Trump called him a whack job and a husband from hell, prompting George Conway to say Trump was mentally unfit for his office. The decisions by the Conways come a day after their 15-year-old daughter, Claudia, said on Twitter that she was seeking emancipation. Claudia has previously been outspoken on social media against her parents' views. On Sunday, Kellyanne Conway described her time in the administration, and previously with the 2016 campaign, as heady and humbling. She had survived several rounds of staff turnovers in an often chaotic and drama-ridden White House. She added that her decision was completely my choice, and that she would announce future plans in time. The announcement came hours after one of Mrs. Conway's daughters, Claudia, 15, tweeted that her mother's job had ruined her life. Mrs. Conway, who is still scheduled to speak at the Republican National Convention on Wednesday, informed Mr. Trump on Sunday night. A Republican strategist and veteran pollster, she was the first woman to manage a successful U.S. presidential campaign, spearheading Mr. Trump's effort in 2016. As senior counselor at the White House, Mrs. Conway acted as political advisor to President Trump and maintained a highly influential position in the administration. In contrast, her husband George is a co-founder of the Lincoln Project, a Republican political action committee working to prevent the re-election of President Trump in 2020. "The past 4 years have allowed me blessings beyond compare," she said in a statement. "George and I disagree about plenty, but we are united on what matters most, the kids," she added. "Our 4 children are teens and tweens starting a new academic year, in middle school and high school, remotely from home for at least a few months," continued Mrs. Conway. As millions of parents nationwide know, kids doing school from home requires a level of attention and vigilance that is as unusual as these times. Claudia Conway's tweet about her mother went viral over the weekend. She later tweeted that she was taking a mental health break from social media, saying, "This is becoming way too much." Kellyanne Conway is one of Mr. Trump's most ardent supporters, but has long been a controversial figure. She has become well known for sparring with journalists in defense of the president. One of her most famous lines was "alternative facts," the phrase she used to describe then White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer's highly questioned figures about the number of people attending Mr. Trump's inauguration. In a 2017 interview, she cited a non-existent massacre to defend the administration's immigration restrictions. That same year, the U.S. government's Ethics Advisory Board said she should be investigated after she urged people, during a live interview, to buy clothing developed by the president's daughter Ivanka. More recently, the government's oversight agency advised last year that she should be fired for engaging in banned political activities while in office. She has often found herself caught between her husband and the president. Mr. Conway has publicly disparaged the president, describing him as incompetent. The president, in response, has called him a stone-cold loser and said that he had turned down Mr. Conway for a job in the Justice Department. Yet shortly after the announcement, Claudia Conway was once again on TikTok, stating that her parents were going to get divorced but have now called it off to keep her from getting emancipated. She accused her father George of not caring about her and not knowing her middle name, and said her mother has been physically abusive her whole life. Claudia's father, an attorney, is one of President Donald Trump's most vocal and pointed critics. He is also stepping back from his role on the Lincoln Project, an outside group of Republicans devoted to defeating Trump in November. He will also take a hiatus from Twitter, the venue he has often used to attack the president. In a statement, she called her time in the Trump administration heady and humbling, and said she and George were making the decision based on what they think is best for their 4 children. Conway, a veteran Republican pollster, has frequently been mocked for her unwavering defense of the president and his team. Shortly after the inauguration, Sean Spicer, the then press secretary, spoke about crowds at the inauguration, stating, "This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period." Conway said he was giving alternative facts. A month later, when discussing Trump's travel ban in February 2017, Conway invented the Bowling Green massacre. She said, "I bet it's brand new information to people that President Obama had a 6-month ban on the Iraqi refugee program after 2 Iraqis came here to this country, were radicalized, and they were the masterminds behind the Bowling Green massacre. It didn't get covered," she said. That same month she used a Fox News appearance to tell Americans to go buy Ivanka's stuff, amid reports of the president's daughter's struggling clothes business. Critics said it violated ethics rules. In June 2019, the U.S. Office of Special Counsel, which oversees federal personnel issues, issued a stinging report calling Conway a repeat offender for breaking the rules regarding the Hatch Act, which forbids executive branch employees from taking part in political activities while engaged in their official duties. In March 2018, the ethics agency found Conway broke the law twice in interviews about the Alabama Senate race. The OSC then issued a report on her commentary on Democratic presidential candidates. Conway has downplayed the significance of the law, saying in May 2019, "If you're trying to silence me through the Hatch Act, it's not going to work, and let me know when the jail sentence starts." The OSC recommended she be removed from federal service. Conway informed Trump of her decision Sunday night in the Oval Office. She is due to speak at the Republican National Convention this week. Claudia Conway, 15, tweeted the day before to say her mother's job has ruined her life, writing, "I'm devastated, sick, that my mother is actually speaking at the RNC. Like devastated beyond compare." Claudia, who has previously called Trump a effing idiot and asked Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to adopt her, has become an outspoken critic of the president and her mother's role in the administration on social media. On Saturday night she wrote, "I'm officially pushing for emancipation. Buckle up because this is probably going to be public one way or another, unfortunately. Welcome to my life. My mother's job ruined my life to begin with. Heartbreaking that she continues to go down that path after years of watching her children suffer. Selfish. It's all about money and fame, ladies and gentlemen. As for my dad, politically, we agree on absolutely nothing. We just both happen to have common sense when it comes to our current president. Stop standing him." The teen added, "I have been using social media as an outlet to express my passions, individuality, and to shed light on some hardships. I have been vulnerable for a reason. Thank you for supporting me." Kellyanne and George have previously tried to prevent the media from contacting her as she became more and more of a viral star. TikTok quickly deleted a video it posted Thursday evening featuring Claudia criticizing the Trump advisor amid the social media app's battle with the president. Trump has threatened to ban TikTok, claiming the app is a security threat that will pass information to the Chinese government, an allegation the company has denied. The video was posted to the app's official Instagram page at around 6 p.m. Thursday but was taken down less than an hour later. It featured the teenage TikTok star at the start of a montage of users taking part in the app's #HurtMyFeelings challenge. A teary Conway makes a peace sign to the camera as she lies on her bed with mascara rolling down her face from crying. "You think you can hurt my feelings? Lol, my mum is Kellyanne Conway," she wrote. The video then moves on to other users who answer, "You think you can hurt my feelings," with the likes of, "I've been 6'2" since I was 12, and "I was 4'10" in my freshman year." Conway's Instagram handle was tagged in the caption of the video posted to TikTok's official account, but she has not commented on it, and the reason why it was taken down is not yet clear. DailyMail.com sent a request for comment to TikTok, but it has not yet been returned. On Thursday, Conway posted on her Instagram stories that she was organizing a protest in Washington, D.C., and on Twitter she responded to a Trump tweet asking, "When was American great lol?" Claudia made headlines after she started going viral with anti-Trump TikToks and using her accounts to support the Black Lives Matter movement. While Kellyanne previously said she supports her daughter making her own mind up about her political views, Claudia recently claimed that her parents were attempting to shut off her phone to stop her causing more controversy for the family. George Conway, one of the founders of the anti-Trump political action group The Lincoln Project, also told journalists in July that they did not have permission to contact his daughter. To journalists, at Kellyanne polls, and I do not consent to any communications between you and any of our minor children, including our daughter Claudia. So desist. Thank you, he wrote. Her parents' attempts have not shut down her social media antics, however, and just this week she called on Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to pick her as an intern and claimed she plans to go into her mother's phone and set controversial song WAP as her ringtone. She also took aim at her mother for speaking alongside Trump. "You know life isn't fair when you wake up to your own mother speaking aside a homophobe and a rapist," Claudia wrote as she retweeted a video sitting next to Vice President Pence and Trump while discussing the reopening of schools in the U.S. Earlier this month, Claudia claimed that her mother recently had her arrested for fake assault charges during a live video on her TikTok page, before insisting that she now needs a lawyer. Claudia Conway just went live on TikTok and talked about how her mother has physically and emotionally abused her for years and had her arrested for fake assault charges a few weeks ago. "Someone get this girl emancipated stat," a post shared by Claudia read. Claudia uploaded several other videos to her TikTok page on August 6, alluding to her apparent arrest. +21 Claudia uploaded several other videos to her TikTok page, alluding to her apparent arrest. Plus, Claudia had said that her parents were forcing her to delete social media after a series of outspoken posts in which she criticized Donald Trump. On July 3, George Conway, who is one of the founders of the anti-Trump political action group The Lincoln Project, attempted to intervene, telling journalists that neither he nor Kellyanne gave permission for them to speak to Claudia or any of their other children. In the first post, titled "Story Time," Claudia acts out her apparent arrest in a musical parody, with one caption in the clip reading, "Sing the lyrics or we arrest your daughter for something she didn't do." Claudia, impersonating her mother, refuses to sing the lyrics and her daughter is taken away. The second video shows the teen smiling in bed with subtitles displayed about her head reading, "Kellyanne just called me and said I'm putting her life in danger by speaking out and how I'm gonna get arrested again for making false allegations." A third video appears to show Claudia lying in bed crying. While the song "Bulletproof" plays in the background, text appears on the video that reads, "You think you can hurt my feelings? Lol, my mum is Kellyanne Conway." The series of short clips were followed by a post uploaded to Twitter later Thursday, in which Claudia asked her 175,000 followers, "How do I get in touch with pro bono lawyers?" When quizzed by one respondent about what type of lawyer she needed, Claudia responded, "Family lawyer." In July, Claudia deleted her TikTok account after uploading a series of criticizing the president, in addition to other posts voicing support for the Black Lives Matter movement. Claudia Conway, 15, has been openly feuding with her parents on social media throughout the summer and has gained thousands of followers on Twitter, TikTok and Instagram. The teen, who uses the handle @Jersey Girl, has gone viral for her ferocious views on Donald Trump, support for Black Lives Matter, trashing her parents' marriage and asking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to hire her. Last week she retweeted a post from AOC which said, "Team AOC is hiring," and responded, "Let me intern for you." Her TikToks have urged followers to leave one-star reviews for Trump-owned hotels, restaurants and golf courses and called for justice for black people killed by white police officers. In a video from April she wrote, "When our president for the next 4 years is either going to be AR@PI$T or AR@PI$T. Claudia's outspoken beliefs first gained traction at the end of June when New York Times reporter Taylor Lorenz shared several of her videos on Twitter, praising her as an outspoken leftist TikToker. Not long after, her attorney father George Conway attempted to intervene, telling journalists that neither he nor his wife Kellyanne would allow them to speak to Claudia. To journalists, at Kellyanne polls and I do not consent to any communications between you and any of our minor children, including our daughter Claudia. So desist. Thank you, he wrote. Claudia tweeted back, "You're just mad that I'm finally getting my voice heard. Sorry your marriage failed." A week later the dramatic teenager posted her last tweet, claiming that her parents were making her delete her profile. "My parents are forcing me to delete social media, so this is my last tweet. Apparently, I don't have a platform. It's fake. Love you all so much. Keep fighting," Claudia wrote. But just 2 weeks after her social media ban, Claudia tweeted to reassure followers she'd got her phone back. She added, "Probably won't have it for long though considering I'm about to revolutionize Twitter, be right back, be right back." She then posted and retweeted a flurry of anti-Trump messages, replying to one of his tweets calling him racist, homophobic and tyrannical, and labeling him a golfing idiot of a president. She wrote, "Let's stop giving Mr. Golfer attention and his supporters ammunition. For those eligible to vote, especially young people, you must #settle for Biden." She wrote directly to the president, "Babe, maybe you should stop calling COVID-19 China virus and start calling it America virus, since it's thriving in our country." The teenager added, "Also, where are your condolences for the 150,000 lives lost in your country? Yo, I'm sorry, but is this actually our president? He doesn't even use correct English, I'm crying." A few days later she posted a video on TikTok claiming that her mother had her arrested for fake assault charges during a live stream. Claudia said she needed a lawyer in the post, which was soon deleted. It's a stark contrast to some of her earlier TikTok videos which had expressed anti-Trump views while asking followers to not attack her mother and father. "Just please no hate to my mum or my dad, they're both amazing people, and I love them so much," she said on a video earlier this year. She has since outlined that although she and her father George, who is also an anti-Trump tweeter, happen to agree on the president, this does not extend to their broader political beliefs. She wrote yesterday, "As for my dad, politically, we agree on absolutely nothing. We just both happen to have common sense when it comes to our current president. Stop obsessing over him." Here's a look back at her career, from helping Mr. Trump to clinch the 2016 election victory to controversies surrounding alternative facts and endorsing products by Mr. Trump's daughter, Ivanka. The first female campaign manager to win a presidential race, Kellyanne Conway is the first woman in American history to lead a successful U.S. presidential campaign. Following Mr. Trump's election win, she was offered the role as senior counsel to the president. In this role, she was Mr. Trump's political advisor. Once dubbed the Trump Whisperer, Mrs. Conway was credited with helping to steady Mr. Trump's campaign after a video was leaked to the media in which he was heard making obscene comments about women. At the time of Mrs. Conway's appointment, Mr. Trump said she had played a crucial role in my victory. She is a tireless and tenacious advocate of my agenda and has amazing insights on how to effectively communicate our message, he said. A row over alternative facts. Just days into Mr. Trump's presidency, Mrs. Conway became embroiled in a row after she used the phrase alternative facts to describe misleading information by Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Photos from Mr. Trump's inauguration ceremony showed that more people had attended the swearing-in ceremony of Barack Obama in 2009. The number of rides on Washington's subway system also showed fewer journeys on the day of Mr. Trump's inauguration compared with Mr. Obama's. Trump's inauguration, left, and Obama's in 2009, viewed from the Washington. In his first briefing as White House press secretary, Sean Spicer claimed that Mr. Trump drew the largest audience ever to witness an inauguration. After this was challenged, Mrs. Conway claimed that Mr. Spicer had presented alternative facts. In an interview with NBC, she said the administration felt compelled to go out and clear the air and put alternative facts out there. Even the dictionary Merriam-Webster criticized her comments, reminding its followers on Twitter that a fact is a piece of information presented as having objected reality. It said that searches for the word fact spiked after her comments. Criticism over Ivanka Trump's product promotion. In a 2017 interview, Mrs. Conway urged people to go buy Ivanka Trump's clothes after retailer Nordstrom dropped her clothing line, citing a lack of sales. Media caption: White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said Conway had been counseled. Ethics rules state that officials cannot use their position for personal gain. Mrs. Conway's comments were criticized by both Democrats and Republicans. Sean Spicer said she had been counseled following the incident. However, the Office of Government Ethics (OGE) said it had received no notice of disciplinary or any other corrective action against Mrs. Conway. The ethics advisory body said it had reason to believe that Mrs. Conway had violated ethics rules. In a letter, it advised the White House to investigate and possibly discipline her. In the letter, it said that there was no doubt that she had appeared on television in her official capacity, as she sat in front of the White House seal and next to an American flag. Criticism over political activities while in office. In June 2019, the Office of Special Counsel called for the removal of Mrs. Conway over claims that she had violated the Hatch Act, which prohibits federal employees from campaigning for candidates while on the job. The government oversight agency cited numerous occasions in which she violated the law, describing her as a repeat offender. Mrs. Conway was accused of violating the Hatch Act when she criticized Doug Jones, a candidate in the 2017 U.S. Senate special election in Alabama. In one 2019 interview, she said, "If you're trying to silence me through the Hatch Act, it's not going to work." She added, "Let me know when the jail sentence starts." The White House dismissed the advice as deeply flawed and unprecedented. Getting Trump back into briefings. Mrs. Conway is said to have been instrumental in getting the president to resume his coronavirus news briefings. Mr. Trump stopped holding the briefings after a number of tense interactions with members of the press. During one, he walked out when he was questioned about a coronavirus relief package. Speaking in an interview with reporters, Mrs. Conway said, "I just think the people want to hear from the President of the United States." She said that in order to boost the president's polling figures, he should be briefing everybody about the virus. Last week, she criticized Joe Biden's nomination acceptance speech in which he spoke about COVID-19. She accused him of arrogance and ignorance while claiming that the Democratic nominee doesn't know what we've done on COVID-19. We at Broadcast Space wish Kellyanne all the best for the future. Hopefully her decision bonds her family together. What do you think about the whole situation? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a fantastic day.